Something, yeah.
Something. It sounds like Australian Transformers Weekly. Hello, we are your first choice for Transformers news in Australia. We might be your only choice for Transformers news in Australia, but that means we are number one by default, the two greatest words in the English language. Hello, this is episode 114. We are recording live on the 7th of July, 2017. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight, we have Brad and Max. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
The boys are back in town, yeah. No backup singers. Fail.
No. no, we're just not giving you that one. You were gone for a week so that you could do.
It feels like two.
Yeah, well, like it has been 2 weeks since your last podcast appearance, but no, you're in the tiniest hotel room in Melbourne, the tiniest and most expensive, may I add, hotel room in Melbourne. You had a family hotel room that had two beds and one child bed, and you couldn't move in it, and it cost you $400 for the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've cheaped out on taking Simon and other members of the club to events in the past. I didn't cheap out on this. I wanted the family to stay in what I thought was going to be a nice city view. We had a view of a
wall. Please say wall. It was a roof.
It was like a square hole in the building with all the windows from other rooms, and you could just see down to the concrete below. There was blue sky above us, so yeah. No, location. Well, we've been about 10-minute walk to the convention. Car parking was 10 minutes the other way, but we managed to get parking there. Anyway, Comic-Con.
Yeah, we should talk about Comic-Con. How was it? How'd you go?
Oh, that I don't think I've ever seen so many people in all my life.
And so you were dressed in your Optimus Prime costume for a good portion of the weekend too. So I got to say, well done for that. There's lots of great photos of you looking surprised, looking overwhelmed, but most of all, looking knackered.
There was a lot of shuffling sideways. It was unlike Nova. I'll put this down to more the event space, but there'd be times where it'd be patchy, you wouldn't have a lot of people, and then all of a sudden, flood. And
I found that that's been happening at Nova again as well, because it depends what sessions are on, and especially if you're near some of the areas where those sessions happen, there are lulls. Like there are periods where there'll be no one come through for a while, and then suddenly it's just like, oh my god, there's people everywhere.
Yep. But it was great. Like, I suited up, had my son Dylan there as well in his Metroplex suit, which definitely got more attention than what I did in my Prime suit, which will be a key for future events.
So basically, because
Dylan
is small, he looks like the master-made Metroplex.
Or the masterpiece Metroplex, if you will, but
scale will probably work out.
The way they're going with the cartoon accuracy too, he's got no detail, so he's masterpiece all the way. But yeah, I'll keep doing it. Yeah, even more so moving around. Me and
that's good. I thought you dropped out.
Oh no! I had to think. No, me and Alan Jones on the Saturday when the doors open, we done a full work around. I done some heavy mods on the suit after Nova, so I could walk in it, and fixed some bugs. But we walked around. It was good. We got up to near Comic-Con, had a full dedicated photo area with backdrops. I was
actually saying to people at Supernova that they need to actually have more interesting surfaces to take photographs for cosplayers and stuff. So yeah, I'm really glad to see someone doing that.
If you've seen the Comic-Con photos, you'll see people in the Guardians as a Starfield sort of galaxy background. There was one background that was very sort of for Cybertron G1, sort of the desert with the rocks and all that. Anyway, walk along and the young fella come up and sort of high-fived and got a couple of photos, and one of the Comic-Con staff said, hey, I bet you come across and stand in front of the the banners. So we went over there and we're taking a few photos with him. I've done a couple of flying poses and whatever else to just try and make use of the time there. But that was good. Definitely one good thing, just sort of high-fiving kids and making some memories.
Did you find that a lot of kids actually recognize G1 Prime?
Yes.
So here's the thing, right? We've been banging on about this for a while, about how kids have been growing up with the movies, and so they're less likely to recognize G1 Prime. Now, I have a G1 Prime costume. I wandered around a shopping center at Parramatta handing out flyers for PopCon probably about 18 months ago, and I was dressed in my G1 Prime costume. More kids recognized G1 Prime than recognized any other Transformers that are out there. It's kind of weird. Like, everything that we know about how the franchise works these days should say that they don't recognize that form of Prime, but they do.
I wonder if it's more so. You have a look at all the characters across. Oh, okay, maybe not all. Prime's probably the least changed.
Maybe.
Like he's always kept that sort of similar helmet, the chest with the windscreens and the grill.
Maybe that's it. Anyway, we should sort of get a move on with the podcast. What do you reckon? Is there any other things to take away from Oz Comic Con?
Just, it was great talking to Simon. He's keen to do it again. I'd have to change some things to do it again, but we've had a big boost in the club, which is good. A lot of new members, and it was definitely an experience. So
it definitely was an experience. I thought you were going to give us more than that, but yes.
Hey,
it is technically correct. It was an experience.
Oh, I've seen.
This is a Transformers podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
And there was no Transformers there much, but anyway.
Oh, really? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on? Let's talk a little bit about Take Your Bot to Work Day. This has been an ongoing competition on the TCCA website and on the Facebook group. Every Wednesday is Take Your Bot to Work Day, and this week's winner is Jason Campy from Western Australia, who, although you can't see Soundwave, he won with this pile of 3D printed Energon cubes, of which Starscream is taking his fill. Now, I think he's actually got more Energon cubes than I've got. These little ones that came from KFC. There, so there's definitely a nice pile of cubes there, and just the way that Soundwave's holding them, it works really well. So well done, Jason. Now, I don't actually have the so we did a bit of a random giveaway today in the group for one of the first 15 winners for Take Your Bot to Work Day, and they got was it an Armada Galvatron, Brad?
Yeah, you should be able to scroll down.
I can't. It's just Richard, a photo.
Haven't you got?
No, it's just a photo.
Okay. Yes, we I've been hinting it the last couple of weeks. We're going to give away a figure for those that have entered already. Congratulations to Richard. I'm going to say Birch. I'm sorry. I don't. Anyway, Richard, you were drawn through the random number generator to win, and you've won a Winter Seal Box Armada Galvatron. So I'll get that out to you this week, and keep posting your photos. Look for the post each week and get in early, because it seems the earlier you get in, the more likes you get. So,
Brad, you're gonna have to scroll quieter with your mouse.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was nervous scrolling. Okay, I wasn't actually.
Yeah, we might need to get you a fidget spinner.
Oh, there's two here somewhere. That's all right. I got Fangry. I'll just Fangry.
Yeah, just transform Fangry away from the microphone. Actually, so we ended up talking a little bit about Fangry on last week's podcast, because Fangry had a rather momentous impact on Lost Light number 7. That discussion is in the previous episode, and you missed it, Max.
I missed it.
I glossed over all that.
You missed the Lost Light episode, the Lost Light discussion. Anyway,
I don't think so. I was definitely there.
Were you?
Yeah, we're talking.
We had Mikey. Oh yeah, you were
Yeah,
there.
it was me, you, and Mikey.
Yeah,
Never
and
mind.
Will's there as well.
For some reason, I thought there was someone else, not you. Anyway, let's talk about some news. Sorry.
It's all right. I'm a very forgettable person.
Now.
No.
So one of the big things that has been happening in Titans Return speculation for the last couple of weeks was the sudden appearance of the Autobot and Decepticon clones in the last couple of weeks, and the apparent appearance of a single pack that contains 2 clones, 1 Autobot, 1 Decepticon. So last week we speculated that you would have to buy Chaos on Velocitron and Siege on Cybertron in order to get one Autobot and 1 Decepticon clone, and then you would have to buy a forthcoming 2-pack to get the full set. Turns out you don't have to buy those large sets anymore. This week we have news, but you still do need to buy 2 sets if you want a full set, right?
Surprise!
Surprise! This week we found out that there are Pounce and Wingspan, Pounce and Fastlane in one set, and Cloudraker and Wingspan in another. One of these sets is exclusive to Walgreen, and the other is exclusive to Amazon.
Yay? Question mark?
Yeah.
No big deal. So they are listed for $23.90 US dollars, and will start shipping 1st of August 2017. So just under a month away. So these guys are sort of like I don't think they're deluxe size, are they?
No, those elbows tell me Legends, but they might be Commander class. Taller Legends.
In fact, if I could blow this image up anymore, it actually says Legends class.
Oh, it does too. Okay.
On the box.
Which is interesting, because initially when they first showed these off, they said that they were sort of the clones of our own scale, sort of separate.
Well, so I think
they
kind of are, but they're just classing them as Legends because they need to put them in a bucket.
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess it's a bit like, Deluxe Top Spin is larger than, all the other Deluxes that they've got in the line. So
that's interesting.
They need to put it in somewhere.
So much when we start at Toy Fair in in February, when we started seeing these photos of the blue one, Cloudraker. No, it's not. That's the other one.
That'd be Wingspan.
His thumbs in the way. Wingspan. Wingspan definitely was saying, right, we're going to get a second clone, and it come out in the second set. I specifically heard people say they're going to buy these sets just to get the clones. And now, Hasbro being Hasbro, we've seen this early in Combiner Wars where we got Motormaster. This is a beautiful Motormaster. And then all of a sudden realizing, no, we're going to sell the least favorable bots first and bring out the ones you really want. And that's sort of continued now into Combiner Wars with Octane, Blitzwing, everything else. But
I don't recall that really happening with Motormaster. Like I think the bait and switch from Hasbro in Combiner Wars was releasing Scattershot and then releasing the Technobots as a full set.
No. It started with Motormaster because there was people like, oh, Motormaster looks like Prime, and then not so much going after Motormaster, going, I need to get Motormaster, but seeing Motormaster going, well, that's just a purple Prime, and then a couple of months later getting the proper Prime. I've got no interest in these guys whatsoever.
Max, are you interested in? Are you interested in these clones? Like, there seems to suddenly be a lot of interest in them. I don't really know why. We were saying last week that it's kind of ingenious that they've managed to come up with so many different alt modes for so many similar looking Transformers. But like,
well, yeah, they're all the same mold ostensibly, like even between the Autobots and Decepticons. So yeah, that's something I've always found it really cool about the clones, but they've never really been fleshed out characters of any sort as far as I can remember. So yeah, it just doesn't really hold much appeal. But
yeah, I kind of feel like putting 4 of these guys on the shelf might be a little bit much. So maybe that's why you get a 2-pack with 1 Autobot and 1 Decepticon, so they can at least fight.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shall we move on?
Let's.
Okay, what's next? This is a figure I don't really care about. It's Transformers: The Last Knight, Voyager class Scorn, who appears to have a melted face.
Why is it?
Go on.
The dinosaur arm on the front of his arm, that looks weird.
It does. It looks even weirder when you scroll up and you see this photograph of him, which you have to just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and now you can't see him anymore. Wow. So there's a reason I went for that photo, right? So Voyager class Scorn, together with his weird face, which is even more evident in this shot.
Yeah.
He's got an odd arm arrangement. He seems to have two arms on his right.
Well, the whole chest of Dino mode is his arm. It doesn't split in two or nothing.
Oh, it looks. Look, can we just call it? It looks stupid.
Oh, I had high hopes for this.
Yeah, the only thing I could say that this has over the deluxe is, I guess maybe articulated tail, and then in photos later on, they specifically show that he has ankle tilts. So, but other than that,
do ankle tilts save this character?
no, it's a really odd figure.
Oh, this, yeah. Look,
maybe it's stranger.
It's a movie figure. No one really expects it to not be strange, but yeah.
Spoiler alert! He's not even in the movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's out of all the Slug and Grimlock are in there. We at least had Strafe, but Scorn was completely absent. Yet he's the only one getting a new mold.
And they're unchanged from Age of Extinction, so Grimlock and
whereas
new figures.
Yeah, and Scorn is a perfectly good figure in the first place, whereas the other ones actually you could say that they need updates. So
well, he's probably one of the best out of the Dinobots from Age of Extinction.
They've said, all right, there's all these flawed figures here, but instead we're going to upgrade, in inverted quotes, this one, which everyone seems to quite like already.
You know what I'm saying. If you sort of like look at it side on and blur your eyes and imagine that a whole bunch of bits come off it, I'm sort of seeing a crocodile.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Almost, if you think about like the head, like almost like a gharial.
Well, it's Spinosaurus, so it's amphibian, crocodilian.
So I will point out, I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Are they over trying to compare?
Can someone please tell me what the fuck is going on with his face?
He's just got a really nice chin this time round. He's
got an animated chin. He doesn't have. He's got he's got a void where his mouth or faceplate is meant to be. It's like someone's molded it and someone's fucked up the mold as they've made it.
Actually, it's
like,
not.
You know what? Let's not worry about it.
Yeah, actually, if you look at it from sort of perspective, it's not a chin going out. It's
his
like
mouth.
Sort of a flat bit that's gone out, and then they've sort of bent it inwards.
You know what
it's like they sculpted a chin, then ran out of plastic.
No. What it is that he's had a run-in with Agent Smith in the Matrix, who said, "Mr. Scorn, how can you speak when you have no mouth?"
I was going to say watch Man of Steel, but anyway, that's better. Yeah. That's a Henry Cavill chin.
Weaving has actually been in the movies, but yeah. Also, just looking at the older Scorn. We're going to move on from this story because, I don't like it. But the older Scorn also has the stupid tail as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love the tail. That's
the tail's crazy.
It's awesome. It's just a great design choice.
We're at the point where they point out that he has ankle tilts and no one cares.
No.
Yeah.
He's got very little feet.
He's got that weird problem that a few figures seem to have
of being movie figures.
No. Yeah,
there's a few weird figures like that. They all seem to come in similar packaging somehow.
His ankles tilt more the wrong way than they actually do as an ankle tilt.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's got his? Do you reckon they've put his feet or his legs on the wrong side? No, they wouldn't have. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that's the thing with generations.
Why do his feet? Why do his feet look like the lamp from Aladdin?
Because that's sword knights. Knights had pointed toes, so they could get into the script.
No, they didn't. That's the court jesters.
He's
nice try though, Brad.
he's just so violent. He needs spiked feet. I don't know. Okay, there we go. They're aping Logan, and there's X-23.
I was going to say aping
knives in their feet. Scorn has knives in his feet. He's the badass little girl of the last night.
Again, not in the
tell
film.
Scorn that he's a badass little girl because, like, I will be about 5 miles.
Badass little girl.
Okay. No, he didn't react. He didn't hear you. Also, he actually has an Autobot logo on him. It seems to be something of a rarity in this line.
It's a curiosity piece. I'd like to get it, but it's not a film character, and that's what I'm going for at the moment. So,
shall we talk about one that is?
Yeah, let's go there.
One quick point is that the Dino modes between the Voyager towers over the Deluxe in robot mode, but the Dino modes are practically the same size.
Kinda. I think there's an obvious size difference when they're side by side, right? You can see that.
There's a mass difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, mass difference. There's some holes.
There are a few gaps.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. So,
Nitro.
So this figure has been credited by TFW as Nitro Zeus, but I believe he's only actually referred to as Nitro on the in the packaging now.
WTF?
Yeah, who knows?
We've seen before the movie come out, and again Nitro. I don't know why they dropped the Zeus.
Well, it's
was this actually a character that I remember looking at it and going, that's actually got quite an impressive amount of detail on it with his missiles on his back and everything.
Yep.
Still looking pretty nice, actually. And that's a pretty nice alt mode. This is the kind of alt mode that we never used to see on the figures, although you can tell that he basically just folds up under his alt mode, right?
I mean, to be fair, what are you going to do with that design in that alt mode?
But
I almost say they've done a good job, just given what they have to work with.
But you look in that robot mode, there's no physical wings. You haven't got wing backpack.
I saw it pointed out the other day that those little pods on his back.
Yeah,
that's his wings folded up into those two pods.
The round things that look like jet intakes. Okay. That's interesting.
I think you find the wings are below them.
Are you sure?
All right.
Well, how are you going to turn wings into those round things with circles in them?
Yeah. You look on the pictures of the wings. There's a whole bunch of seams running down them.
So they fold up and they become that. Yeah.
They're
oriented underneath them, and they hinge back out.
That becomes the front of them once they're folded up. All right. But the interesting thing here is this is Darker Moon Shockwave skeleton with some bits on it. So they've completely gone from a tank or from a H tank to a jet. And that jet has got some of the least robot kibble we've seen in any movie jet
So you say this jet has some of the least robot kibble? What the fuck is that?
Don't turn it upside down. God damn it. That front on, when you look at the front on one, it's just you got the shoulders at the front, although I think it's his hips. Anyway, it's just
look fair enough, but yeah. I will not be buying it. Max, will you?
Probably just on account of the fact that I was indifferent towards the character, but the trick of folding up the wings into those little pods is pretty much going to sucker me in.
Engineering's got you. I enjoyed his role in the movie, so I'll be getting this.
There was one thing that I saw earlier. Someone actually took the head off this guy and replaced it with the Thunderwing Titan Master. And I put to you that is a pretty good look for a Thunderwing.
Oh, I thought it was a Cogman reference.
Nope.
Boo.
Nope. That was the point when I said Thunderwing.
Yeah, I know. That's where I dropped.
Yeah, so no, this guy with the Thunderwing Headmaster from Titan's Return, pretty good. So yeah, and this guy's a deluxe, right?
Voyager.
Is it Voyager? Oh god.
Yeah.
He's shipping with Scorn.
He's not worth the $50. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, nah, I'll be looking for 35, 40.
I would be looking at him for nothing. Yeah, but you know me with movie figures, so fair enough. Let's move on. Toys R Us, for some reason, has managed to announce that they have a San Diego Comic-Con Masterpiece Optimus Prime, and that is not that figure and all that figure. So whatever, I've messed that part of the run sheet up. So let's just stay here. You know what? We don't actually need to be. We don't really need to see it because I think we all know what Masterpiece Optimus Prime looks like. Is that seem all right?
No, it should be STCC.
Yeah, STCC from Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah, it's a re-release of MP10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know what MP10 looks like. When we looked at this figure, I didn't really see that much that was new, but there will be a new batch of MP10s in the world for San Diego Comic-Con if you are looking for one. If you're one of the 3 people on the planet who doesn't currently have an MP10 mold, you'll have a chance to get one now.
Speculation alert. Last time MP10's going up for sale. You watch. This is it.
Ooh,
last chance to get the MP10. We're going to get a reveal of a new MP Prime very soon.
Yeah, it's got to be MP50.
50?
No, it'll be 40. It'll be
when will we be at 50?
It'll be 40. Before 40.
I'm not saying it'll be soon, but I'm saying when we get to 50, it'll be Prime.
No. They got MP10 on sale again now. They're bringing in every penny they can. They're remolding. Anyway,
we will see. We'll see. So yeah, if you're going to San Diego Comic Con, get yourself a Hasbro Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Yeah, I think this is where we ended up here. Is this actually? Have I messed up some of the? No, I think this is the story here in the run sheet. Okay, so yeah, so Transformers Legends December releases. Is that this story?
Oh, yeah, there's a photo. There's more than one photo here.
I don't think this is actually...
We're talking Transformers. Yeah, this is just a photo of the listings.
Yeah, Minerva and Cab box sets.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Oh, so really it's only two. It's 2 new photos at the bottom there.
Right.
Minerva and Cab.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, so Takara is bringing out a Legends set at the end of the year that has God Bomber and Jinrai in it, and has a couple of new headmasters, Minerva and Cab. And if you are fooled by that, then sure, go for it.
If you want more headmasters, there's a few.
And in fact, you can you can see them inside the inside the cab there as well. And
look at them all sitting in there.
It's awfully nice. It's awfully nice to have a figure with space for three Titan Masters.
It's a Megazord.
Excuse me. All right. Sorry, got a little bit confused over that one because what I'm seeing on screen does not necessarily match up with the run sheet. But yeah. So anyway, those are some of the releases for December for Takara Legends. And we've also found out this week that this dude is getting a re-release as well. This is MP10B Black Convoy. He's up for pre-order now for how much, Max?
I've seen hit ranges around. HLJ has him for 120 AUD, and I ordered mine from PC for $85. So
all right. Nice.
It'll probably come in like a year's time, but $85 for MP10B ain't bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
Obviously, I already have one, so I won't be participating in that pre-order. Yeah, so look, if you haven't set your eyes on Masterpiece Nemesis Convoy before, he's got a Decepticon symbol. He's got evil red windows, and there's a bit of blue shot through his arm highlights and his waist there as well. So and he's got a little bit of a floppy leg too. It's an impressive and really quite evil looking recolor of Prime. So more power to it. And I think especially in a year where I've written myself into a corner now, so I'm going to say this. I think it's about time we drop the no spoiler stuff for movie discussion. So
especially given that it was
the movie has been out for a good 3 weeks now. So sorry, but we are going to start talking about movie spoilers, especially given that Nemesis Prime is in the movie. It seems appropriate to re-release the Masterpiece figure that doesn't quite carry the name because it is Black Convoy, but it is Nemesis.
Bit of a difference.
Not really that much. And in fact, does this one... I'm not sure if this one has a matrix or not. I think he does. I think he's got like
dead matrix.
He's got like an evil matrix or something.
Yeah, it's like just a sort of flat grey, I think.
Oh. Or he doesn't have one at all.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, Jason, I think you're supposed to have a matrix there.
Yeah, I think I am. It's actually... it might still be in the box, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't come in the figure.
No, fair enough. So let's just check that. Yep, there we go. Because under my desk there is a blister pack, and sorry about that noise on the microphone there, but there you go. There's a dead matrix. It's got a big bit of red in the middle of it. So yeah, dead red matrix. That rhymes.
Blood red.
And that's your Masterpiece MP10B re-release that's coming up. What is next? We've also got Transformers Tribute class. Now, not Tribute class, but Transformers Tribute, which we suspected when we were looking at the Prime 2-pack a couple of weeks ago might be the replacement for Transformers Platinum. Looking at this, I don't know if I'm really buying it as a replacement for Platinum. Like, I feel like some of this packaging is pretty rough around the edges. So, like, if it's replacing Platinum, it's really coming down market. But this is a redeco of, was it movie 1 Prime?
Yep.
Yeah. So
very first lead they put out.
It does seem like Transformers Tribute might just be an Optimus Prime subline at this point.
Mm.
I don't know.
I look forward to
anything else.
I look forward to the Thor Cybertron Prime pack. I'm in for this more just for the alt mode. I think the 07 movie has the best alt mode of the whole original trilogy, and I'd love to get this just for its alt mode to have on display.
Yeah, fair enough.
With the movie Masterpiece when it comes out.
So we're looking at the picture from the back of the box. Since 2007, fans have witnessed epic Transformers action unfold on the big screen with legendary warrior Optimus Prime leading the Autobots in the battle to protect Earth. That's fair enough. I'll give them that since 2007 because like that was where this figure debuted on the big screen. So fair enough. It's okay.
And the start of the live action movie line. So yeah,
that's fine. We're not bitter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we actually have a price or a release date for Transformers Tribute, although given that someone's got an in-hand photo of the box, even if they are in China, then you can probably assume that it's coming out soon.
It can't be too far away.
I'm just checking.
That 2-pack is out overseas already, so
yeah,
you can expect.
Oh, cool. I wonder if we're actually expecting to see Transformers Tribute come to Australia or not. Well, I guess we will find out in the next couple of months, won't we? So, Brad, you're up for this figure?
For in alt mode, yeah.
So you're up for this figure?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Max?
I just don't see the reasoning behind it, to be honest.
Well, if you've already got the original, then fair enough.
I've got the.
If you want it but can't find it because it's 10 years old, fair enough. It's a reissue.
It's a reissue in what looks like nicer colours. So.
Yeah, but then if you've got the Revenge of the Fallen one, it's a far superior robot node.
And they just put out a masterpiece as well. So.
And then that the movie masterpiece one takes that Revenge of the Fallen mold, just bats it out of the park. So it all comes down to what you're looking at collect out of the figures. If you want a definitive air quotes masterpiece prime, then you'll go for that movie masterpiece one. That is the best prime we've got out of the line for the movies. Apart from Wei Jing, oversized, Age of Extinction, Evasion Mode Prime.
So there was a lot of love for Evasion Mode Prime in the fourth movie, but it was the fourth movie. It was only a few years ago. So this is it is important to remember. It is the 10th anniversary of the Transformers series on big screen. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at something else. TFCon has announced that there'll be another show exclusive Ocular Max figure. Last year they had the stealth version of Sphinx, and this year they've got a Dakar Rally commemorative design for Terrigus, which is their trail breaker. Now he's using Diaclone inspired colors, I believe, and it looks like he's got his own face sculpt as well. And I reckon he looks pretty damn good in that yellow.
It's just such an odd choice, but God, it looks nice.
It really looks nice. There's a lot of chrome going on there as well. Like, I kind of feel I might like to sort of go out and get this. So I think I'm going to be looking to people going to TFCon Toronto to pick one up for me.
Yeah. Before I praise the bot, a Hilux in the Dakar Rally.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a bit kind of weird. It's almost like they sort of looked at their range and they're just sort of like,
stickers. Stickers to
it. What could possibly be in a rally?
That aside, I love it. I love the color. I love everything about it. The Cylon head.
It's a good mold to start with, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
That head sculpt is just deliciously retro sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
In the back, there's just tons of screw holes, so you're best not looking. But look at the poses that you can get these guys into. Like they're just fantastic.
Look really natural.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am quite a fan of the mold, I must say, and so it's nice to see them find another use for it, really.
Mm. Yeah.
And of course, the other thing is that they do photograph quite well. Oops, that's.
I need to get Trailbreaker first before I look at getting repaints.
I thought you already had this guy.
No, I've got the Hoist, not Trailbreaker.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Anyone got one? Message me, please. I need to buy it. I need it.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm just looking at his stickers. He's actually got the Ocular Max logo and RMX Perfection series, which is the oh look, my computer wants to restart. I might just do that tomorrow. There we go. Thank you, Apple. That was lovely. So the stickers are Perfection series, which is the Ocular Max masterpiece imprint. So that's a neat little callback.
Yeah. Yeah. No, everything this thing, if that bot's doing is just ticking boxes.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
It's just a money thing at the moment, and in need of Trailbreaker before I go to repaints.
You know what? I would actually suggest you that if you can get one of these, I would get it, because you saw what's happened to the stealth Sphinxes on the secondary market.
Very good point.
Yeah, I would go for this first. All right. Let's move on. We've got a couple more toys to announce. Flame Toys has been showing off some of their figures in Hong Kong at Anime Expo, and included the reveal of an officially licensed Tarn figure. Now, they're not transformable figures, and so they have the ability to you know, sort of beef up these characters and give them more of their comic proportions without really having to, you know, figure out how to make them transformable. So Tarn looks really impressive, and you can see the Tarn wireframe on the left, and you can see the Drift wireframe on the right. Now Drift is their first item that's going to be released, and there he is in a particularly low res photograph. Thank you, TFW. But and there's his rear design. So like Drift always has appeared somewhat manga inspired, and so this certainly amps that up. But it looks really impressive. And you know what? If you display your bots in bot mode, no one will notice if this guy doesn't transform. He looks really good.
Good point.
Yeah, it's not like Drift's a character with a particularly iconic alt mode to start with, so
Just a fast car.
yeah, you're not losing out on much.
Yeah, absolutely. He does actually look like he might transform into Speed Racer from this figure.
I think he beats Optimus Prime for the biggest hip thrust forward. He's lunging.
I don't know. It's okay. Optimus Prime will have another shot at it within a couple of months. Tarn seems to have the same proportions in his wireframe there as well.
Yeah. And this is great because they've been able to put the money, design work, engineering into detail and everything else for this bot, and not have to worry about having to transform. Which, again, I'd love to see a series of non-transformable, cartoon-accurate bots.
You want Action Masters?
Yeah, I want Action Masters, but Masterpiece Action Masters anyway. This looks good. I've got no interest in Tarn or this.
But you know what? If they do well, you might see some other characters come out of them as well.
And I've got no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I would love this line to continue because these guys look like they're doing amazing work.
Yeah, they do look.
They look very detailed. They look like they've got some super detailed paint finishes in there, and yeah, they look great. Mm-hmm. Not that much more to say now. That's the end of the news section. So it's time we had a little bit of a chat. So as we pointed out earlier in the show, Transformers: The Last Night has been out for a little while now, and Brad has finally been able to see it. So instead of us describing the movie to him in over Facebook Messenger and him asking weird questions about it, he has actually partaken of it. So Brad, what was your experience of The Last Night? And I think Max, you saw it a little bit late as well. You've also seen it this week. Was that?
No, I saw it opening day. It's just that the official opening day. It's just that for some reason it sort of just came out everywhere early.
No, that's fine. No, you're in Adelaide, so it's, you know, a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years late. You know.
Yeah. No, he's staying on the Friday night and wasn't on for the show, so
yeah,
that's why I didn't see it. I was the late one to the party.
Mm. So, Brad, you want to catch up with the rest of the planet, and you've got some thoughts on The Last Night. Now, there's been a lot of stuff that we've talked about with this movie, including relative quality of the movie in terms of enjoyability versus whether or not it's actually a good film. And there's been a lot of discussions going in the group over whether or not the film is actually intended for particular groups of people. So you had some thoughts. Let's talk about the film as a whole rather than specific parts of it. But what's your impressions of the movie?
Well, thank you. I think the one of the biggest spoilers I got off you guys was the purple Unicron, which was good. Ignore. And that's one of those things. Like, what makes crap? A lot of people sort of comparing it to sort of other, I'll use air quotes here because this is just opinions, shitty films like, say, Suicide Squad. Personally, I didn't like Suicide Squad. I've got no relation to the characters, don't know who the characters are, so didn't necessarily like the film. You can have counters to that saying, right, if you don't know the characters, you're not expecting much. It might be a shit film, but Iron Man sort of proved a lot of us wrong. Whereas I didn't know who Iron Man was, and it was a good film. There's that bar. People, even most, I think most Transformers fans would have a better understanding of what's going on going into these films than non-fans. A lot of movie reviews I've heard of people sort of not up with the series, going and watching it. What the hell's happening? What's this doing? What's that doing? And just not enjoying themselves whatsoever. Even some stating that it's the worst film they've ever seen.
Yeah, I actually think in terms of Transformers fans, there's actually a lot of fan service in this movie that it doesn't get credit for amongst fans. Like, people have been saying for literally 5 films now, fucking do Unicron. Unicron is now there. He's been name dropped, and there's been a little bit of story dropped on it. So yeah, and then now people are just like, oh, you didn't do Unicron the way I wanted it to. Well, you didn't say that. You just said that you wanted Unicron in it. So now you got it. There you go.
Well, with that Unicron, they sourced it from personally my favorite Transformers cartoon, Transformers Prime. And when
they haven't really pulled the trigger on that yet. But there's hints that they may go in that direction. But I expect that the movies are going to be different.
Yeah.
I'm really happy they've gone in that direction. Like, I feel like that's the best way they can do Unicron, because you can still show his robot mode in a flashback or something, but then you have Unicron as being Earth, then you have this sort of moral dilemma. It's like, do you destroy Earth to kill Unicron? So
yeah, and they done it all in Prime. Whether or not it's going to diverge much from that, or if they're going to just copy and paste, which I'll admit right now, most of the movies are cartoon plot points, plot lines, everything else jumbled together in a movie. There's not too much we've seen in the films that hasn't been done in the cartoons already, with their own little spin. Honestly. We've seen all this shit before, people. If you don't like it, then it's obviously the bot designs. There's still debate, hate out there. Bumblebee next year will prove that right or wrong. I still think you take the explosions and Bay's military porn out of it, and these films will be dull. You've still got the same writers, the same the production crew, all that same shit's in play here. There was also comments, people, I think Kathleen was saying how she didn't understand what was going on with the story. I think John said it as well. I think the main comment was that the first half of the movie was rushed, and it seemed like there was a large number of logical leaps taking place in the first half of the movie. Then once everything sort of settled down and they went to the UK, it became much more straightforward. Yeah.
The movie was just stuff and things, explosions, events. This happened, that happened. It wasn't really structured. It's like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, then like Act 1, Act 3, Act 5, Act 2. It just jumps around. It's like all of us, it's got this really weird structure to it.
Yeah. And I ask you, Max, have you ever seen Michael Bay do an interview?
Because he'll not being very good in the interviews.
He'll talk about one thing, and then without any provocation, without any whatever, he'll just suddenly go into something else and then come back.
Sorry, is this a Michael Bay interview or a Donald Trump interview?
To quote Anthony Hopkins for the second time in
shut up!
As many podcasts.
Shut up!
I was going to say, well, it's both, really.
Yes.
Speaking of the man, I loved everything he done on screen.
You mean Cogman or Anthony Hopkins? Oh,
Anthony Hopkins, Cogman.
The
whole
Cogman.
The whole Cogman doing the opera and the score behind. If Anthony Hopkins didn't bring it up, I thought it wasn't as subtle. I thought, going off what everyone had said, it's like you hear someone in the background doing an opera or whatever else. It's blaring in the surround sound as if it's the score.
No, look, I think it's just a bit of an in joke, really. It's a joke that has often been done. I switched on Blazing Saddles the other day, and there's the sheriff riding through the desert with this stirring orchestral score, and then he rides past the orchestra and stops and tips his hat to the conductor, and it's like, it's this. We've seen this joke before. It's just that it's quite amusing every time it's done, and when it's done by characters bickering at each other, it's fun, and ultimately it's maybe a little bit indulgent, but whatever.
Yeah,
you genuinely did get the idea that, like Anthony Hopkins said, he enjoyed himself making this movie.
Yeah,
he's just looking at him in every scene. He's in this McLaren F1. Waving the middle finger at people, swearing his head off. It's just fantastic.
It's a pity him and Simmons weren't on the same stage
together. So John Turturro literally phoned his performance in for this movie and did not share screen time with anyone. Like, they must have just set him up on they set him up in some beachside suburb in Miami, and they're like, "Yeah, this'll do for Cuba, whatever."
They went to Cuba. They reported Transformers 5 filming in Cuba. They went there to film that wall and that payphone. They went there.
Dear oh dear. But
opportunity wasted.
So Turturro unfortunately didn't actually get to act off anyone in this movie, but and also no one really knows why he knows this shit either.
Yeah, it's always okay. He's already researching next plot point for the next film. I just love having him back, being so important in the first trilogy. Having Wheelie back again in his limited role, not really doing a lot, just sort of adding the comedic sort of stuff around the junkyard. It was good having those two back. I think one thing that came up with Megatron wanting his crew, and two of those crew getting killed off pretty quickly, but the rest of the Decepticons stay around.
So you do have it. You've got a series of things that goes through about a page in the run sheet. Do you want to just go through some things as a sort of like quick fire points? What do you want to bring up?
Well, this is an important one. Having the Decepticon warrior troops, whatever, no name characters, real guns, real bullets, real lasers, everything else. This isn't G1 where they just sit there and go pew 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 at each other and retreat. We're getting overrun.
No, there was still a very good Decepticons retreat in there from Megatron.
Oh yeah, yes, exactly. Good. Yep, it was very good. But it's sort of since the first movie, it's sort of we got combating with each other. You need, if you're going to show death, you need to show nameless warriors getting blown up and whatever else. Otherwise, by this point, there'll be no Hound, no. Oh, okay, Ironhide, Ratchet. Oh god, they're gone. Jazz is gone. Okay. For example, but
no, I'm not really sure where that was going.
Yeah, but if you're going to show casualties of war, like people dying because of real gunfire, you need a faceless army, and that's why you're going to sit there and shoot cons.
I think the problem is that a lot of movies actually have faceless armies, and like when it comes to showing the horrors of war, we're all sick of seeing it because we all know that every single 3D rendering program under the sun can generate countless members of your army for you.
Yeah, but they done that in Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen, where they brought Barricade and not Barricade, yeah, and other bots back that were models from the first movie just to have armies in the desert. It's just if they had an Astro Train bot and he got shot and died straight away, and they wasted Astro Train where it could have just been a random bot. But let's look at the notes. Cybertron, I don't know what was going on there. How it didn't seem to be a planet. it was a planet size. Captain JPL kept on saying it's a planet. Hate that guy, but it just seemed like a crust held together by something, vines.
Yeah, it's not entirely clear. It's not entirely clear what has happened to Megatron because, as was pointed out by someone in the discussion group this week, last time we saw Cybertron, it actually seemed kind of all right.
Apart from being sucked back into the space bridge.
Sure, but it didn't look like this.
No.
It got destroyed, but it got destroyed in a completely different fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And some of the CG, when it starts impacting Ireland around the Stonehenge, the CG does not hold up at all.
I saw your point about that. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure I agree. Like, I think that's the kind of thing that we have no visual frame of reference for what that would look like. And so when you see that, your brain is just like, that's not real. That doesn't look realistic at all. But like, I didn't spot any obvious like unfinished CG or anything like that. Like, it's like they've gone out and had a legit go at it. There's visual artists who are employed and they've had a go at things like the focus on the pieces as in the distance as they scrape across, and as they destroy Hong Kong and as they destroy Egypt and stuff. Fine. It is just this thing. Like, I feel like it's because it's unfamiliar and there's no basis in reality for it.
Yeah, that was fine. It was more so when they realised parts were starting to fall and they're going to get crushed, so they start running away from it, and it's just sort of coming down and laying across. It just
I reckon. I feel like in that case is like when you've got actors running from things, it's sort of like they've gone in the script. They're just like, visual effects artists, go nuts, and just try to make it match up roughly with what the people are doing on screen. Thanks.
Blur it a bit because you're going to be out of focus because you're going to be focusing on the characters.
Also, can you put a sunset there?
Or a sunrise?
Good point. One thing I did definitely love was when they went up, they put the Ospreys into Lockdown's old ship to get into get to Cybertron, and then they're going to do the jump. They're at 20,000 feet. The Ospreys are only good for 12,000 feet, which means they're just going to glide in.
So that's
a gliding helicopter.
But so they called that out and they actually said, "Look, that's not going to work."
No, I'm not calling out the BS. I'm calling like they were going to still go out of Lockdown ship, knowing that they're pretty much a brick with windmills on their wings. Yeah. Like there was
they knew, and they specifically called it out and said, "Look, we know this is not going to work," but also. The characters who are actually in it are like, this is going to be a really rough landing, so you better be ready for it.
Yeah, strap in. This is going to be hard. That's like realism. Realism.
All
Squeaks
right, let's try and wrap it up. Squeaks.
I'm going to. Squeaks was barely in it, which was surprising considering how much he was advertised as it. Blah blah blah.
Now you also said that you didn't hear the F-bomb. Now you actually went to an early screening.
Oh.
Now so this is why I'm actually wondering whether or not there's a different edits for different times of day. But so you didn't hear the F-bomb. So at the end of the battle in the final fight, when Squeaks was tasked with going up and blowing up the gun encampment, what did he say when he reached the gun encampment?
It was like, it was. You could sort of, but it wasn't a definitive.
No, it wasn't.
It was really modulated, and it was really hard to.
But it was definitely an F-bomb.
Okay, all right. It didn't pick up on it. I think the whole Megatron with red face paint. I think when you see Prime get that on when he gets corrupted, I think that's a perfect example to say, right, it's happened before and Megatron's got it, because the whole film here has got that red face paint on his arm, on his face, and he's working for Quintessa. How?
So this is your theory that Megatron has encountered Quintessa before the start of the movie. Now,
I'll take Galvatron. Galvatron encountered.
I want to take a little bit of a step back away from that. Now, you said that this is how he knows about the staff, right? You've said that.
I know where you're going with this. Yes, yep.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Now, I don't think there's actually any particular secret about the staff amongst Transformers, because when the trader turns up to the junkyard, he sees the Knights of Iacon coin that Cade has in his possession, and he's just like, "Holy shit! If that's here, then it is the end of days that's coming, and it is time to get off the planet."
You said trader.
The trader.
Traitor.
The trader.
It's
Trader.
Day trader.
Yeah, it's a trader. People have already corrected you about this on Facebook.
Okay.
Why do you bring it up again? He's a trader. He trades in items.
I know. His name is Day Trader.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to have an icon reference.
Yeah, but so this is the thing,
actually,
right? But the Transformers know about this legend, and they know that when this coin or medallion or whatever turns up, that it has come from the last night of Cybertron. And if that's on Earth, then the last night has come to Earth, and that is the beginning of the end. So Megatron's aware that the last night has arrived in the ship because he sent Barricade out to get the medallion.
Which he didn't, and
and
on fire.
He set a few things on fire in his rage, but so I'm not really entirely sure that Megatron's encountered Quintessa to find out about the staff, because I kind of feel like all the Transformers just know about it.
Well, it's more so for the sudden change in form. And that, like, if she's got the power to grant someone a new body, like we've seen, which, I know it's loose, because there's a
lot of logical jumps in your theory.
Yeah, how does the truck go to space? Okay,
I do like the fact that it actually, like, there is obviously something going on with the red markings on the side of Megatron's face, and we don't really know what. I kind of actually like the fact that it's not explained. Maybe they'll come around and circle around and fix it up later on.
It leaves it open for whoever's writing the next movie to, answer it however they want.
But not only that, you could point to countless movies where stuff like that's left up to fan speculation. If it's picked up in future films, it's picked up. If not, it happened. That's it. It's there. Think about it what you will. Whatever else.
I don't think it's really going to be the subject of that much speculation, though. It's stuff that's happened in the movie.
Yeah.
The thing also is that by doing that, they've been able to put Megatron in the position that he's in for this movie, but it doesn't have. It's not necessarily the position that the character would otherwise take. So it's using him as a narrative device rather than as the character himself.
Yep. All right. The TIE fighter drones, they had a perfect use. There's a reason why they look like TIE fighters, so get over that. The 400 BC opening.
Why do you say 400 BC?
Wasn't it 400 BC?
It was England, the
80.
Dark Ages.
Yeah, but 1600 years later, which would be 400 BC.
Try maths.
169. No, what not working. Anyway, this whole opening sequence, with the battle on the battlefront, it was Bay's darkest hour.
What?
If I could call it that.
What?
That was the day that Bone Crusher died. We reported it. We reported it in probably episode 60s.
Who died? What?
Bone Crusher. His dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Michael Bay's dog Bone Crusher died. He was not in a good state. Yet he turned up on set with 400 extras on horses, pyrotechnics ready to blow. Awesome. And said, we're going to do this. And he done that opening sequence. Now, he'd pitched to Paramount a few years ago that he wanted to do a sort of that era movie, but they denied and said, "No, we're not giving you the money for it."
And instead, we now have what's the
They don't pay it again in 13 hours, but
what's the King Arthur one that's out now?
It's
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, whatever.
Actually, apparently pretty good from what I hear.
Yeah, but it's like it's like panned by critics, but all the audience reviews say it's really cool. So.
Well, we've never had a good King Arthur movie, so it's already fighting that. But if Paramount want Bay back for 7, then they have here's some money if you want to go and do your own little Sword and Sandals movie. Here's some money for it, as long as you come back for 7. This is Bay's in. He wanted to do one, and he's sort of given a little trailer of what that might be like at the start of this film. Personally, I love it. I want to see it. But, yeah. Anyway, love the film. I have to watch it a couple of times. I've only got about 35 minutes of it on my phone, so I can't see it all. But I quite enjoyed it. Followed the story from start to finish. There didn't seem to be too many parts in it that I would hit skip, like the rest of the films. Everyone got their part. Everyone got their time.
So you're pretty happy.
Yeah, there was issues with it, of course. Submarines not transforming and such, and just acting without talking. But yeah, I didn't mind. I don't see the massive hate that I'm seeing and hearing about it. So, yay, Bay 5. Let's go for Bay 7.
I don't even understand why there's the jump from 5 to 7, but yeah. Because
6 is B.
Oh, the 6th film is B, but it's not going to actually be Transformers 6.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No.
It's Transformers 6. Yeah, it is. Transformers 6. Bumblebee begins.
Awkward. Okay, let's move on.
Right.
Let's move on. We've kind of done the last night discussions to death. So
yeah, that's it.
There's only so much you can say about that movie.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We're going to leave it here. Leave it behind.
Okay, let's talk about some new acquisitions. Brad.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I think you and Max actually have the same acquisitions.
Really?
The same acquisition in my case.
Oh no, this is Fangry. The whole Comic Con, I had these guys for sale on the booth for $10. Young fella wanted one. I said, "We'll sell these here. I'll get one to Wang on the way back." Got Fangry. Got Lino. I don't know what it's called.
It seems like a good name for it.
Yeah.
You know how that works.
Lino. Got them after. Well, I got it before the last week's conversation, but you guys sort of sealed the deal when you were talking about the last night and the score with the 1,500 license sales, 15,000 I should say license sales. Yes. Yeah, I picked up the last night's score on the Thursday, just because.
Hopefully, you bought the score to Transformers the last night and not that a movie you called About Last Night.
No, it was Transformers last night. I need to listen to it a lot more before I think of any good songs. Also got the Age of Extinction 4-track score for $5 that was on there, which is sad. At least Autobots Unite is on there, which I think would be the top 3 or 4 of the movie scores, movie soundtracks anyway. So, yeah, that's me done.
Max,
I'm gonna get a big thing in MMC Calidus, but he hasn't been opened yet. So
fair enough.
But
yeah, I think we had him on last week somehow.
Yeah, you spoke very highly of him, as I recall. So I'm looking forward to that. But I also got myself a Fangry, who's one of the nicer Titan Masters, I must say. His alt mode is he turns into a weird dragon thing, and it doesn't make much sense at all. but then he's got a really nice head sculpt on the actual Titan Master. You can see right there, there's a green bit there. It looks dead on to Fangry. And then the sort of his other alternate mode is basically just straight up his G1 beast mode, the sort of walking winged wolf type thing, which is great. Yeah, I'm really happy they sort of did a tiny little version of G1 Fangry.
And that's it for the week.
That's it.
So we're going to go from the tiniest thing that one could acquire.
Do you need a hand?
Maybe this is kind of a two-person lift. So,
my god,
this is the Jin Bao knockoff oversized Bruticus. It's the knockoff of Warpatron Bruticus. It's really nice in its combined form, and he's got this real hulking, really strong look to him, and like you would not want to mess with this guy. Can't really say the same about the individual bots. When I was assembling it the other night, Brawl can't stand up. The only way you can actually get Brawl to remain upright is to sort of have him bend forward and stick his arms forward so that it moves his center of gravity over his feet. It's pretty disappointing.
Because his spine doesn't straighten, does it? The spine on him?
No, he's fine. It's just that his center of gravity is behind his heel support.
Okay, that's how he had bent forward. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why you end up having to bend him over just to get his center of gravity right. Onslaught has never missed a shoulder day at the gym. Swindles.
That's torso mode though.
Yeah, but he's very, very sort of overbalanced at the top. It's like Blast Off and Vortex, pretty good. There's a few really quite complicated things that have to move around to get these guys into their alt modes, and Swindle's probably one of the simpler figures, but he's also a bit of a shell former. So it's like whatever, fair enough. You sort of like you fold up the car, fold his robot mode in, and then fold it down over it. But I mean, overall, he looks the part. The individual bot modes, like I said, not that great, but the combined form, fantastic. And I got this guy, which I've been threatening to get for a little while. The IDW repaint Megatron for the last night in these fantastic black, purple, and gold colors. Really, really like the figure. I mean, I really like the mold that it's based on, and so I really like the resulting figure as well.
You expressed your love for it countless times before. Now you've brought the red rose and taken on a date.
Yeah, and I got to say, it is totally not worth $40.
Oh, it didn't pay for the night.
Nope, it ordered the lobster. So
I can't have been the only one to say this to you. That it's not worth $40.
No, but like, how else am I going to get it? Because it's a Toys R Us exclusive, so whatever.
Yeah, risk a price drop. On the upsize Bruticus,
he also just fell over, so whatever.
Heard that. It's the combiner. I hope with what we're seeing out of the new, whoever it was, and I can't believe this wasn't in the news. The Menasor with Motormaster, like having the whole
X-Transbots. Is it X-Transbots or is it the Transform Mission Motormaster?
It might be.
They're both doing one now.
Are they?
Yeah, well, but I don't think X-Transbots showed their Motormaster.
But just including the bot, like the whole trailer, even with that one, it's still Onslaught looks too small in torso mode. It's almost like the 4 Cybertron Bruticus, where it's just a guy with big gloves and big boots. And that's more so because of just, especially the feet, where you've just got the cars sitting there in car mode as the big blocks for feet.
Oh, so that's sort of also the case with a also the case with this guy. Basically, you put the guys into their alt modes, and then you sort of flip a couple of panels up. And you can connect.
Like
what I actually like about this guy for connecting up the things is they actually lock in.
Yeah.
Which is quite good because that is not going to fall off because there's actually a loop in there that this guy's combined around. If anything, what will probably fall off is actually the connector to the main body, but that's also sort of like not ratcheted. It's joined in. It's not just sitting there with friction. So
it just feels like where you're holding it now on the knee to the hip just needs to be like more mass there. It just seems.
Fair enough, but I guess it's a problem with the original design too, right?
Well, exactly. G1, the legs are all the same size.
The design is Warbitron, but
yeah.
But so he sort of like, I don't know, he because he's got so many parts and so many things that hold and tab together. Like you do have to be a little bit careful posing him, but.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I'd love to get one. I'm still looking to get one anyway.
I mean, given the prices you see them going for nowadays, it's worst case scenario. You sell it off for what you paid, and
I mean, it's a KO of a third party. It's a fourth party combiner. The like the plastic's not as good as the originals. It's been oversized. Like there are things that change when you oversize some things. So it's not the first time Jinbao's done an oversized combiner. They also did an oversized KO of MMC's Feral Rex as well. It's just he's all right. He'll sit on a shelf and look good. So that's all you need him to do, right?
Yep. That's what he's for.
Just a bit.
It's about right. Trying to think. I think those are the only things I have acquired this week. Yeah.
Yep.
So look, let's wrap things up. We do need to talk a little bit about Transformers Collectors Club Australia membership. Brad, do you want to take that away?
I can go through this quickly. Yes, membership year. It started again January. Here we go. July memberships. Paid and Proud membership base level is $5. Warrior membership levels $30. Or if you're in a family, you can get a family pass for $65, which includes 2 of each of the below. All the full details are on the website transformerscca.com. Head over there. Pin post on the group. Everything's there to find out. And we're also about to hit 2,500 social members in the group. We're about to have a giveaway when we hit that. I've got a Power Master Prime, which I think this is Jinroy. That's late. Takara Jinrai, which is the Power Master Prime. We're going to give away, so stay tuned in the group for that.
Awesome.
Breath.
That is about it. Look, that's the end of the podcast. We've been going for a good hour and a bit. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. We are produced by Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You can find us at transformerscca.com, and you'll find links there for the Facebook group, the Twitter account, the YouTube channel, the podcast, all sorts of stuff. But come and join us. If you are listening to the podcast and you're not in the Facebook group, then we'd love to meet you in our Facebook discussion.
Win some bots.
Yeah, you might win some bots. Who knows? Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will be back next week.
Do it all again. See you guys.
See ya.